Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. If you're new here, welcome. I am so happy to have you all here with me today. It's Friday. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I want to do some geometric or shape type of collage. No magazines, no cut and collage images, just paper, just papier. So I have some black and white photos from one of Anton's kits that I reviewed last year. He did a whole black and white kit. So I have some of those, and then I have two pieces of black and white paper, just different styles of dots. I originally pulled this one out, but I think I like this one better. And then I have just some little scrap bits of some jelly plate prints that I've done left over from last year. So I have a bunch of those. And then I have basically a rainbow of colors of basically colored copy paper that I'm also going to be using. So the first thing I want to do, I think, is these will be more for the shapes and decoration portion of this. So I'm going to move these out of the way for just a minute. I have an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock from Michael's Craft Store. So I have all that over here. I have that. I have my scissors. All right. Do I have a fresh glue stick? Fresh enough. All right. Just call him Will Smith because he is fresh. Get it? Fresh Prince? Okay. Ba-dum-bum. All right, everyone. I'm switching over to voiceover mode for this. Kind of working with a pretty bad headache today, and so I just kind of zoned out and played, and the next thing I knew, it was like an hour and a half later. I had so much fun with this. It is absolutely 1,000% chaotic and abstract and so super fun. I'm basically using very minimal supplies, no fancy dyes or punches or anything like that. I'm just cutting everything out by hand, and it made it really fun. And it was really nice because I wanted things to not be perfect, which is why I was cutting them out by hand. So I just kept telling myself that, like, just cut, don't worry about perfection. The less perfect, the better, because that's what I was going for with this, you know, an abstract piece. And oh my gosh, was this so fun. So I learned some things while doing this. And I think next time when I do this, it'll be a little less chaotic, but I just kept adding and adding. And I'm telling you, this is a trust the process type situation here. Big time. I wanted to quit so many times. I'm like, this is awful. I don't know what I'm doing here. Because I didn't really have a plan, it kind of threw my brain off. As you know, I have anxiety, so I need to know exactly what's happening, what I'm doing, how it's going to work out, like all those things. And to do that to myself was pretty crazy, but it was also super fun and liberating. So I really, really kind of liked it. And I'm definitely going to do this again. Maybe on a smaller scale, maybe like postcards, I think would be perfect for me. Oversized things are a little bit overwhelming for me. Granted, this is just 8.5 by 11 cardstock, but it's super fun. And then at the end here, I'm going to show you what it looks like finished, obvi. But then I'm going to show you, I'm just going to throw a few fussy cuts on top of it. I'm not gluing them down, but I just kind of want to show you what a chaotic kind of background can look like with like a simple image on top. Now, like I said, I'm using scraps of, now I saved all my little scraps of jelly prints. I am using every last little ounce of my jelly prints. Let me tell you, they have gone a long way. I have used them in so many projects. So I'm using those, and I'm just liking the organic shapes that's coming from the paper that's already there. And then, like I said, I'm using some of Anton's black and white images. I had them, you know, already kind of sized down and cut up a little bit. You saw me tear them down a little bit smaller in the beginning there as background. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't really know how I wanted to do this. So I just kind of put everything out there and just had fun and played. And it was so fun. I highly recommend you do this. And it's great to use your scraps. I was going to go into my scrap bin, but I didn't have a lot of like thinner paper in my scrap bin. And I wanted to use thinner papers. So my jelly prints are made on printer paper. And then the colored paper I'm using is also like printer paper weight, so it's a little thinner. Origami paper would be great too. I just don't like collaging with thick paper. It feels icky, and you can see like such a ridge between all the edges, and I don't know. I like thinner paper better. Just a personal preference. So I'm just like, seriously, no plan. I am just absolutely going with the flow and just listening to some music in the background, and I just kept stopping and staring and like, what do I do next? Now, another fun thing you can do, and I might do this next time, is use your craft punches. Cut out circles, squares, triangles, hexagons. Cut those in half. Cut circles inside of the circles. Cut up strips of paper. Go into your scrap paper and use all of those. It's so fun to do that because you're making art out of, well, I don't want to say trash, but kind of, depending on what kind of scraps you're using, right? And I know abstract art isn't for everybody, especially chaotic, as I like to call it here, abstract art. So you don't have to make it as busy as I did. You can absolutely make it way tone it down. That's kind of what I was going for in the beginning. And then I don't know what happened, but I went crazy. I couldn't stop. I finally had to force myself to stop. So this definitely didn't turn out how I expected it to turn out, but I had fun, and I like the overall ending of it. I feel like if I framed it, it would look kind of cool on my wall. So I might do that. I mean, I think that looks pretty cool. And I love using the jelly prints. There's so much dimension in those with all the different layers of colors and stuff like that and patterns. So that's really fun. I didn't use any words, anything. I did cut out a number eventually from one of my jelly prints and put it on there, but I don't know. I almost brought out my kind of abstract like rubber stamps and stamped on these as well. Really? Thank you, Mr. Corvette. That was a dude in a Corvette speeding down my street. Residential, I might add. Rude. And here comes Sherman. Oh, my life. Oh, well, excuse you coming in here snorting. Sherman is my pug, if you guys don't know. Okay, I got Sherman all situated in his bed. I think we're good now. So as you can see, I'm kind of rotating around. In a minute here, I'll add a little bit more, but I go into those more solid colors of printer paper that I have here in a minute. I was having so much fun with my jelly prints that I kind of forgot about my solid papers. So now I'm just going to kind of go through and just make these organic shapes. And oh my God, this is when I really started to have more fun at this point right here. I kind of was getting a feel for it, how I wanted to cut my shapes. I have not done art like this in a really long time. I think the last time I did this, I did it with construction paper. You can find it at the Dollar Tree too, which is great paper to use. I feel like when I do abstract art, it's more in the form of drawing, like doodles and stuff like that. Anymore, I don't do as much abstract with collage, and this was fun. And I definitely want to do more of that in the future. And then as I'm playing, I ended up doing something I didn't expect. I wasn't planning on in the beginning. So I'll show you that here in a minute. Like, I love this one, although it kind of reminded me of like brass knuckles or something, but look how cool that looks. I love that. I love those organic shapes. This is one of those circles that I tore. So I punched out a circle to use in a project, but then I tore around the punch and made a bigger circle with the hole in the middle of it. And I did that a lot for, what was it? The postcards I was doing last summer. So yeah, I love doing that. And now I can't stop with the little circles and tearing around where I punched out with the circle punch. It looks really cool. Now I'm using, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but this has like little white dots on it, kind of. They're not like perfect little dots. They're like little tick marks or something all over it. And I loved it. The other black and white paper that I pulled out had black dots, like perfect little circle dots all over it. And I like this other one a little bit more. This is where I was like, okay, when do I stop? How do I stop? When do I know it's too much? I've already passed that. It's definitely too much at this point. But now I was like, I'm all in. I am going for it. I'm just going to keep adding until I feel like I am done and the spaces look fine the way they are. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I kept going because I really like the way this looks in the end. And like I said, I'm going to show you what it looks like if you put an image over the top of it. And that really, I feel like, kind of tones down the busyness a little bit. But I am a huge abstract art lover. I absolutely love art, especially abstract art. And this is why I think this was so fun for me. There's the Camaro guy again. Or Corvette, I mean. Sorry, not Camaro, Corvette. He just couldn't get enough of me and he had to come back. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm a hottie. Just kidding. Just kidding. Sorry, I have a really bad headache and it's making me loony. I'm a loony toony. So don't ask me in the comment section when is a good time to stop because clearly I have no idea. I think you stop when you feel like you're done. If you're feeling a little frustrated or you don't know if you're done or not, walk away, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or something for 30 minutes, come back and then look at it with fresh eyes. Totally changes everything, I'm telling you. I didn't do that, but I think that would be a great way to figure out what to do next. You know what I mean? Just walk away, even for five minutes, and then walk back and you look at it differently. That goes for like glue book pages and stuff too. If you don't know if you want to add more, for me personally, I just flip the page and move on and I'll come back to it another time. But if you're like working on a page that you want to finish, or that's kind of how you roll, you work with one page, you finish it and you move on, then just walk away for a minute and come back and you'll be surprised at how different you look at your page. And you can kind of tell then what you're missing, if you're even missing anything at all. Do you need to add more or not? Okay, so this is where the thing came in where I was like, I didn't know I was going to do this. So I grabbed my Sharpie creative markers and I just played. I was like, like I said, this whole time, I am all in. I am going for it. I'm just going to have fun. I didn't do a ton of this. And just because I kind of wanted to just do some, get a feel for it, see if I liked it. Like I said, this isn't going in a museum, you guys. I was doing this for fun. I was doing this as a fun art exercise. I was playing with scraps of paper. You know what I mean? So like sometimes art you just create for the moment, to create for your mental health, for fun, to get those creative juices flowing. Maybe you start with something like this before you move on to another project. But I think the key here is I have the tendency to want to quit when I get a little overwhelmed or frustrated with an art piece. And I made myself keep going. And I'm really proud of myself for doing that because in the end, it did not turn out how I thought it would, but I like it. And I had so much fun doing it. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the process, whether or not I want to do this again, how I would do it differently, if anything at all. And so I think that's great. So just trust your process. Remember, I feel like, in my personal opinion, there's always an ugly spot when it comes to your art, right? Because you're not done yet. So you get like, I don't know, a third in and you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening, right? We've all been there. But if you just stick to it and you keep going, oftentimes you might turn out with a masterpiece. Just saying. I am glad I went through with my Sharpie creative markers because that was really fun. And I'm just so glad I did this today. I had a lot of fun. And you know what? I could cut this up and make postcards out of it if I wanted to. So that would be pretty rad too. I'm just saying, I could make 4 postcards out of this. Shoot, maybe I should do that. I don't know. I'll consider it. Maybe I'll make another one and cut them up for postcards. It could be like this is how I used to do my masterboards, by the way. I used to do them like this, where I would do more mixed media masterboards where I added paper and pens and paint and splatters and stamps and all that kind of stuff. That's how I did my masterboards. Now I do them more where I'm collaging paper and that kind of stuff, but this is really fun. And then if you cut this up, you could use it in your junk journals as tags, pockets, you know, all the things. Belly bands, tucks. You could make artist trading cards out of these. You could cut it up and make artist trading cards. So if you don't like it whole, cut it up and then see how you like it. Because, oh my gosh, why do they always look better once you cut them up? I'm telling you, it looks so rad. That's why I loved doing my master boards like this. These are the ones I feel like are easy to cut up. So maybe I'll do another one and do that. This is where I was kind of like just kind of playing, just adding a little bit more interest and color here and there. I don't know. It was fun. I had a good time. If you're a mixed media artist, then you probably do this kind of stuff all the time. I don't do a lot of mixed media. I love it. I used to do it a lot back in the day. But this is fun. It's very freeing to just play. It really is. Highly recommend. All right, everyone. I'm going to show you the finished photos here in just a second to show you what it would look like to put some images on here. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Don't forget to drink your water, give this video a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love it if you stuck around. And I will see you guys back on Monday. Bye, friends.